Before most people are diagnosed with chronic kidney disease, their kidneys have already been silently dying for years. No warning sirens. No unbearable pain. Nothing dramatic enough to force them to stop and pay attention. That is why kidney damage is one of the most dangerous silent killers in America today. Right now, millions of people over 50 are waking up exhausted, watching their ankles swell, urinating multiple times through the night, and feeling their energy disappear without realizing that deep inside the body, millions of microscopic kidney filters are slowly collapsing under the pressure of high blood sugar, excess sodium, inflammation, and hidden dietary damage. And by the time creatinine finally rises on a blood test, many people are already standing dangerously close to dialysis. I am Dr. Lucas Grant, and I have seen grown men sit frozen in fear after hearing those numbers for the first time because suddenly the future changes. The freedom to travel, the ability to enjoy retirement, even the simple comfort of feeling normal again begins to feel uncertain. But tonight, you may learn something that could change the future of your kidney health before it is too late. Because one simple grocery store food may quietly help protect your kidneys naturally, while one common mistake Americans make every single day may be accelerating kidney damage far faster than they realize. Most people hear the word creatinine for the first time sitting inside a doctor's office, staring at a lab report, wondering if their kidneys are beginning to fail. But creatinine itself is not the true enemy. It is the warning signal. Think of your body as a massive living city, operating every second of the day. Your muscles are constantly working, walking, lifting, climbing stairs, even helping you breathe, and every movement creates waste. Creatinine is one of those natural waste products. Normally, and healthy kidneys remove it quietly through the urine without you ever noticing. The problem begins when those tiny kidney filters become damaged and can no longer clear waste efficiently. Then creatinine starts building inside the bloodstream like garbage piling up in a city whose sanitation system is slowly breaking down. And once that happens, other toxins begin accumulating too. Fluid balance changes, blood pressure rises, inflammation increases, energy disappears. That is why rising creatinine matters so much in chronic kidney disease, because it often reveals silent kidney damage long before the body fully collapses under the pressure. The frightening part about kidney disease is that the body often whispers long before it screams. Most people expect kidney failure to feel sudden and dramatic. But for many Americans, the warning signs appear quietly and slowly blend into everyday life. A little swelling around the ankles at night, feeling exhausted even after a full night of sleep, waking up 2 or 3 times to urinate, foamy urine disappearing into the toilet bowl, brain fog, dry itchy skin, shortness of breath while climbing stairs. These symptoms may seem unrelated, but together they can signal that the kidneys are struggling to filter toxins and maintain fluid balance properly. I have seen patients ignore these signs for years because they believe they were simply getting older. Meanwhile, deep inside the body, microscopic kidney filters were slowly becoming inflamed, scared, and overloaded under constant stress from high blood pressure, diabetes, processed foods, and hidden sodium. The truly dangerous reality is that kidneys can lose more than half their function before severe symptoms ever appear. And once fear enters the picture, many people desperately search for quick solutions online, buying detox teas, miracle supplements, and so-called kidney cleanses without realizing that some of those products may quietly push damaged kidneys even closer to permanent failure. The moment people hear the words high creatinine or chronic kidney disease, panic often takes over. Late at night, frightened and desperate for answers, they begin searching the internet for anything promising to cleanse the kidneys fast or reverse kidney damage naturally. That is exactly where many dangerous mistakes begin. The truth is that some so-called kidney detox products may actually place even more stress on already damaged kidneys, I have treated patients who believed they were helping themselves with herbal cleanses, online supplements, and extreme detox drinks, only to discover later that those products triggered even worse inflammation, dangerous potassium imbalances, dehydration, or acute kidney injury. Natural does not always mean safe. Your kidneys are not dirty organs that need to be flushed like a clogged pipe. They are living filtration systems already working every second to keep you alive. What damaged kidneys truly need is protection, reduce stress, lower inflammation, stable blood pressure, and smarter daily nutrition choices. That is why blindly chasing miracle cures can quietly steal valuable time from people who still have a chance to slow kidney decline naturally. And the surprising part is that one of the most powerful kidney-friendly foods is not exotic, expensive, or hidden inside a supplement bottle at all. After years of treating patients with high creatinine and chronic kidney disease, one thing continues to surprise people more than anything else. The food I most often recommend to help support kidney health is not a rare superfood, an expensive supplement, or a trendy detox product advertised online. It is the humble red bell pepper sitting quietly in the produce aisle of almost every grocery store in America. That surprises many people because kidney-friendly foods must meet very specific conditions. They should be low in sodium, lower in potassium than many common vegetables, rich in antioxidants, and able to help reduce inflammation without overloading damaged kidneys. Red bell pepper does all of that remarkably well. But what makes this simple vegetable truly powerful is not marketing hype. It is the way its nutrients may quietly help reduce oxidative stress and support kidney function naturally over time, while so many other everyday foods continue adding silent pressure to already exhausted kidneys. What makes red bell pepper so valuable for people concerned about kidney health is that it supports the body in several different ways at the same time without placing a heavy burden on damaged kidneys. That balance is extremely important for anyone dealing with high creatinine, chronic kidney disease, diabetes, or high blood pressure. Many foods considered healthy for the average person can become difficult for weakened kidneys to handle because they contain too much potassium, sodium, or phosphorus. Red bell pepper is different because it delivers powerful nutritional support while remaining relatively gentle on the kidneys themselves. One of the biggest advantages is its lower potassium content compared with many other vegetables Americans eat every day. A baked potato, tomato products, and certain processed vegetable drinks can quickly increase potassium levels in people whose kidneys already struggle to remove excess minerals efficiently. When potassium rises too high, the danger is not small. It can affect heart rhythm, muscle function, and fluid balance throughout the body. Red bell pepper gives the body nutrients without placing the same heavy potassium load on damaged kidney filters. But potassium is only part of the story. The deep red color inside bell peppers comes from powerful antioxidant compounds including carotenoids and vitamin C. And these nutrients matter because chronic kidney disease is closely connected to inflammation and oxidative stress. Inside damaged kidneys, tiny filtration structures are constantly exposed to microscopic inflammatory damage, almost like sparks slowly burning through delicate tissue day after day. Vitamin C and antioxidant compounds help neutralize some of that stress before more damage accumulates over time. That does not mean red bell pepper cures kidney disease. It does not. But supporting the body's defense systems matters enormously when trying to slow kidney decline naturally. Red bell peppers also contain important nutrients such as vitamin B6 and vitamin A, both of which support cellular health inside the body. Vitamin B6 may help reduce the risk of certain kidney stone formations while also supporting healthier blood function. Vitamin A helps maintain tissue integrity throughout the body, including the delicate lining of kidney filtration structures. And then there is another area of science many people have never heard about before, the gut-kidney connection. Researchers now understand that unhealthy gut bacteria may produce toxins that eventually enter the bloodstream and place additional stress on weakened kidneys. Fiber-rich foods like red bell peppers help nourish healthier gut bacteria, which may reduce some of that toxic burden over time. Still, even healthy foods can become harmful when prepared improperly. Many Americans unknowingly overload meals with sodium, processed sauces, or hidden seasoning, blends that quietly increase blood pressure and place even more pressure on damaged kidneys. And later, I am going to show you one common cooking mistake that may quietly cancel out many of the kidney-friendly benefits people believe they are getting from otherwise healthy foods. If this information is changing the way you think about kidney health, I want you to remember something important tonight. Most people never learn about silent kidney damage until the disease has already progressed much further than they imagined. That is why conversations like this matter, and if someone in your family struggles with high creatinine, diabetes, swelling, or chronic kidney disease, share this video with them because one small piece of information discovered early can sometimes change the entire direction of a person's future health. Antonio was 73 years old when he first walked into my office, carrying a folded stack of lab reports in trembling hands. He barely looked at me when he sat down. His creatinine had been rising steadily for years. His blood pressure was uncontrolled, and his ankles were so swollen by evening that his socks left deep marks across his skin. But what frightened him most was not the fatigue or the swelling. It was the word dialysis. His daughter had searched online the night before and convinced herself that kidney failure was already unavoidable. His wife had barely slept for days. I could see the fear sitting heavily across the entire family before I even opened his chart. I remember telling him something I have repeated to many patients over the years. Antonio, your kidneys may be damaged, but your story is not finished yet. Because the truth is that kidney disease does not usually change because of one miracle treatment. It changes through dozens of small decisions repeated consistently over time. We started reducing processed foods, lowering sodium, controlling his blood pressure more aggressively, improving hydration, and building meals around more kidney-friendly foods including red bell peppers, cabbage, cucumbers, olive oil, and lean proteins prepared with far less salt. Slowly, inflammation began calming down. His swelling improved. His energy stabilized, and months later, when Antonio returned for another appointment, his wife looked completely different. The panic in her eyes was gone. She smiled at me and quietly said, "Dr. Grant, he finally sleeps through the night again." And in that moment, I was reminded once again that protecting kidney function does not only change lab numbers, sometimes it gives families their peace back too. One of the reasons red bell pepper works so well for a kidney-friendly diet is because it is incredibly easy to incorporate into everyday meals without making life feel restrictive or complicated. That matters more than people realize, because the best kidney diet is not the one that feels perfect for 3 days. It is the one you can realistically maintain for years. Consistency protects the kidneys far more effectively than short bursts of extreme healthy eating followed by exhaustion and frustration. One simple option is eating red bell peppers raw. Sliced strips can be added to salads, paired with hummus, mixed with cucumbers, or eaten as a crunchy afternoon snack instead of processed chips loaded with sodium. Some patients even use them as a replacement for crackers alongside tuna or shredded chicken because they add texture and flavor without overwhelming the kidneys with unnecessary salt. Light cooking can also work beautifully. Roasting or lightly sautéing red bell peppers with olive oil, garlic, onions, or zucchini creates a flavorful side dish without relying on heavy sauces or processed seasonings. Some people mix roasted peppers into scrambled eggs or omelets for breakfast, while others add them to grilled chicken bowls or simple kidney-friendly soups. The goal is not perfection. The goal is creating small daily habits that quietly reduce stress on the kidneys while supporting healthier blood pressure, inflammation, and long-term kidney function naturally over time. Here is the mistake many people never realize they are making. They buy healthy vegetables with good intentions. then quietly destroy many of the kidney-friendly benefits during preparation. One of the biggest problems is excessive sodium. Americans consume enormous amounts of hidden salt through bottled sauces, canned soups, seasoning packets, processed meats, and restaurant meals. And damaged kidneys struggle tremendously under that pressure. Even healthy vegetables can become harmful when they are drowned in sodium-heavy ingredients every single day. Another issue involves potassium concentration in certain foods. For people with more advanced chronic kidney disease, potassium management becomes extremely important because weakened kidneys may no longer remove excess potassium efficiently. That is why some renal specialists recommend techniques like double boiling certain vegetables by cutting vegetables into smaller pieces, boiling them briefly, draining the water, and cooking again with fresh water. Some potassium can be reduced before eating. But the most important lesson is this. Kidney protection is not only about adding healthy foods, it is also about removing the hidden daily stress, quietly exhausting the kidneys, meal after meal, year after year, without most people ever noticing the damage building underneath. For many people with chronic kidney disease, the greatest danger hiding inside the modern American diet is not sugar or fat alone. It is sodium. And the frightening part is that most people consume far more of it than they realize every single day. Processed meats, frozen dinners, canned soups, fast food, packaged snacks, bottled dressings, restaurant meals, and even foods advertised as healthy can quietly contain enormous amounts of hidden salt. When sodium levels stay high for years, the kidneys are forced to work under constant pressure, trying to balance fluids and maintain blood pressure inside the body. Over time, that pressure damages delicate blood vessels inside the kidneys themselves. The filtration system begins stiffening, fluid retention worsens, swelling increases, blood pressure rises even higher, creating a vicious cycle that slowly accelerates kidney decline. I often explain it to patients this way. Imagine forcing an already exhausted worker to carry heavier and heavier loads every single day without rest. Eventually, something begins to break down. That is exactly what uncontrolled sodium intake can do to damaged kidneys. And because most Americans never feel the damage happening in real time, the destruction often continues silently for years. Kidneys are rarely destroyed overnight. More often, they are exhausted slowly through thousands of small daily choices, repeated again and again until the body can no longer compensate for the stress. Before making major dietary changes for kidney health, there is something extremely important you need to understand. Not every stage of chronic kidney disease is managed the same way. People in advanced stage 4 or stage 5 kidney disease, especially those on dialysis, often require very specific potassium, phosphorus, protein, and fluid restrictions based on their lab results and medical condition. What helps one patient may become dangerous for another if the kidneys are already severely damaged. Certain blood pressure medications commonly prescribed for kidney protection, including ACE inhibitors and medications like losartan, can also affect potassium levels inside the body. That is why kidney care should always be individualized with guidance from your physician or renal dietitian. I always tell my patients the same thing. I would rather give you honest medical guidance than false hope wrapped in internet promises. Because protecting kidney function safely is not about chasing miracle cures. It is about making smart, sustainable decisions before the damage becomes irreversible. Maria was 68 years old, a retired elementary school teacher who carried a small notebook with her everywhere she went. The first time we met, she had already been living with type 2 diabetes for more than a decade. And although her blood sugar was not completely uncontrolled, her creatinine levels had started creeping upward year after year. She told me something I never forgot. "Dr. Grant, I am not afraid of hard work. I am afraid of losing my independence." That sentence stayed with me because underneath every lab result is a human being terrified of what the future may look like if kidney disease continues progressing silently, unlike many patients who feel overwhelmed and give up quickly, Maria approached kidney health one small habit at a time. She wrote down her blood pressure readings every morning. She tracked her sodium intake carefully. She reduced processed foods, improved hydration, added more kidney-friendly vegetables into her meals, and slowly rebuilt her routines around consistency instead of perfection. Red bell peppers became one of the simple foods she regularly used because they added flavor without relying heavily on salt or processed sauces. Months later, her kidney function stabilized, her blood pressure improved, and the exhaustion she once blamed on aging began easing noticeably. But what changed most was not only her lab work, it was her confidence. For the first time in years, Maria felt like she had regained some control over the future of her body instead of waiting helplessly for bad news to arrive. If you truly want to protect your kidneys long-term, the goal is not chasing perfection for 1 week. The goal is lowering stress on the kidneys consistently through small daily decisions that slowly compound over time. Start by reducing ultra-processed foods as much as possible, especially packaged meals, processed meats, salty snacks, canned soups, and restaurant foods loaded with hidden sodium. Build more meals around simple kidney-friendly foods, including vegetables like red bell peppers, cabbage, cucumbers, cauliflower, and lean proteins prepared with lighter seasoning and healthier cooking methods. Controlling blood pressure and blood sugar may be two of the most powerful things you can do to slow chronic kidney disease naturally. Staying hydrated appropriately, sleeping better, managing inflammation, and following up regularly with kidney function. Blood tests also matter far more than most people realize. And perhaps most importantly, stop waiting for dramatic symptoms before taking kidney health seriously. The kidneys often suffer in silence for years before the body finally reaches a breaking point. I tell my patients this often because it changes how they think about prevention. Every meal either increases pressure on your kidneys or quietly helps reduce that burden little by little over time. The future of your kidney function is often shaped by the habits repeated every ordinary day when nobody is paying attention. Modern kidney research continues, showing something many people underestimate for far too long. Daily nutrition choices truly matter when it comes to protecting long-term kidney function. Researchers studying chronic kidney disease have found that diets rich in colorful antioxidant-containing vegetables may help reduce inflammation and oxidative stress, two major forces quietly involved in kidney damage progression. Compounds such as carotenoids, flavonoids, vitamin C, and plant-based antioxidants are now being studied for their potential role in supporting healthier blood vessels, improving cellular protection, and lowering stress placed on kidney filtration systems over time. That does not mean food alone cures chronic kidney disease, but it does mean the body responds powerfully to what we repeatedly place on our plates every single day. I always remind patients that kidney health is rarely shaped by one dramatic moment. More often, it is shaped by thousands of quiet choices repeated over years. Better blood pressure control, lower sodium intake, smarter hydration, more kidney-friendly foods, less inflammation, earlier action. Those changes may seem small individually, but together they can help protect independence, energy, mobility, and quality of life far longer than many people imagine possible. Tonight, while you sleep, your kidneys will continue working quietly for you without rest. Every second, they will filter toxins, balance fluids, regulate pressure, and protect your body even if you never stop to think about them once. That is why kidney health should never begin only after fear appears. The most powerful protection often begins years earlier through the small choices repeated every ordinary day. I want you to remember Antonio, Maria, and the thousands of patients who believed their future was already slipping away before they finally understood how much daily habits still mattered. Your kidneys may be under stress today, but that does not mean hope is gone. Protecting kidney function starts with awareness, consistency, and action before the damage becomes irreversible. And if this video helped you understand your kidneys differently tonight, share it with someone you love before they ignore the warning signs for too long. Subscribe and stay with me, because in the next video, I am going to reveal several everyday foods many Americans believe are healthy, while they may quietly accelerate kidney damage much faster than people realize.